3 in 1,000 members of the human race have actually murdered another human being.
You could have gone on murder sprees and nobody could have found out if you were careful and you were effective.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
D'Angelo told the officers that he had a roast in the oven and they told him they'd take care of it. Imagine a person who murdered 50 people just turning to you like, hey, can you get my roast out of the oven? Like, that's all he fucking has to say.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is SpinShootImpress and or Brandon. Welcome back to another episode of Real Sensitive Guy Hours. This is episode 27. 27 shows. That's fucking epic, boys. But today we've got our 3 to 4 main dudes, the real sensitive guys. Oliver.
3 to 4.
Oliver's the guy under me.
Oh, you're my right, bro.
Travis, the massive, to my right. And we got William Le Concron to my bottom right of the screen. How's it going, boys?
Get it.
How the fuck is
Pretty
it going?
fucking good.
It's great.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. A lot of shit
after
happened
27
this past week.
episodes, man, you should fucking know that it changes the configuration of our boxes.
As Jordan,
Go ahead.
as Jordan B. Peterson says, life is fucking chaos, brother. What is happening right now? Just
Dude,
in life.
Like, I know we've talked about it like episodes ago, but there's so much cancel culture out there. Like, it's just getting too crazy.
Cancel and cancer, honestly.
Well, you see, like, what happened with they're changing the Redskins name now just because, like, all this pressure.
Oh, yeah.
It's just everything.
They've been talking about doing that for like 10 years, though.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and
but
now
with
all of
the
a sudden they're
circumstances that
doing
are
it.
going on. It's
Yeah,
because
all
of
of
the
a sudden they're
circumstances
doing
that
it,
are
man.
going on.
It was time.
Yeah,
They're waiting
I
for the
don't
right
even
time,
know
and
what
they won't be the first team that's going to go under for that.
So
There's plenty
everyone's
of other-
like, everyone's like, you're gonna change the Chiefs and now on the Vikings and like all of them because like, come on.
No, Vikings are white. Cannot be racist to white people. Come on.
Well, they're thinking about doing it to the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, the college football team, because it is. Oh, what did my dad say? It's because it's like rude or
like perpetuating an Irish stereotype
against the Irish. Yeah, that's why
Isn't
they like to
that
fight?
like? I don't.
They should just cancel
isn't
Finley
that
on
part of their
WWE
culture?
then too.
All right,
My
yeah,
name is
WWE
Finley,
would never.
And I love to fight.
would never ensue with fucking fucked up stereotypes ever.
Not to
Hornswoggle?
mention the midget leprechaun that hides under the ring. Not to mention that.
He fucking
my
brings out
gosh.
the shillelagh and they're just like, I wish I could be on WWE. I definitely want to be
WWE. Is
when I was a
WWE
kid.
still on?
Yeah,
I
but
don't
it's kind of
think come back
bullshit.
yet.
Because like back
Is
then,
it?
WWE would have gotten canceled.
Yeah,
I don't know what they do these days.
I want to
but
say WWE was prime like in 2007, 2008. That was
there
the
was
fucking
so
prime.
much like sexism and fucking
You think that they're still
like
is it though?
the
Like, Jesus
Irish
Christ.
shit.
No, like they've actually increased the divas reach, I guess. Like they have their own titles and they've had it before, but it's like they have their own main events, they have their own Royal Rumbles.
The divas aren't sexualized. You're supposed to like it's supposed to be empowering.
Oh yeah, it's
They
crazy.
kick ass.
2007 version of me was their nuts that were quaking.
Yeah, absolutely.
The diva
when Michelle McCool came out.
Yeah,
I
dude,
was like,
Mickey
whoa.
James. Mickey James.
Kelly
lost
Kelly.
right now.
You guys are wild.
So lost in this conversation.
The
right
diva
now.
lingerie matches.
Oh yeah, Brown
my
panties match.
Jesus.
You guys are insane.
Yeah, WWE would not survive in that
We're gonna get
state as
fucking
of
canceled.
today. It was good,
Probably.
entertaining content. Like, yeah, granted, I want to
It
say it's
was.
fucked up, but it was good content.
Super cheesy, but like low key. If you looked under the cheesiness, there were some great storylines.
Yeah.
Travis is all about the storylines.
Always.
He always has been.
Vince McMahon and his wife, who was in the wheelchair, who like tried to control everything.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, can see
I forgot about that.
Yeah, dude. So
And
not
then
only-
the Edge like threw her out of her wheelchair in the middle of the ring.
remember when
When
Edge
everyone
had
tried
sex?
to be a rapper.
Edge had sex on air on an episode of Raw. This dude just had sex with his girlfriend as a
This
bit.
man went raw. On Raw.
Wow, that's,
He laid a
that's
smack down.
Pun there.
I'm sorry,
him a
Oliver.
spear.
Will I'm sorry, class.
No,
He
it's
gave her
fine.
the
Like I
spin.
know about
Just fucking
WWE.
nostalgia,
I
man.
played some of the games, but like I
Fucking
haven't
nostalgia.
never really followed it.
That was the best shit ever. Was the fucking SmackDown versus Raw games? Those were the
Oh, yeah.
best.
And those were the prime years of it too. 2008, 2009. Those were the best.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably died off after that a little
Something
bit.
you
for sure.
have.
You guys,
Yeah,
mentioned
nostalgia,
that.
man. I saw the other day. I got hit with like a burst of it. I saw that Bionicle commercial where they're all
On
like walking in a
iFunny?
line, and it's
Yeah.
playing like "Move Along" by the All American Rejects,
Oh
and
my
like
God.
my brain
Sakatoa.
just fucking my dopamine just spiked right there. I was like, oh my
Bionicle
god,
was
this
the
was the most
shit.
badass commercial.
Bionicles were the shit, bro.
Bionicles
I
were great.
gotta keep it strong, and
Yeah,
they're in
it's
the air
true.
like pew pew.
It was crazy how, like, as a kid, I mean, I loved playing with Legos. But then, like, as you got older, you still wanted to play with them, but you wanted to be, like, more adult about it. And then Bionicle
Bionicles,
came out.
dog. Yeah,
Bro. And then they had the movies, they had the TV show. Oh,
True. Yeah.
dude, we used to make like stop motion Bionicle wars. Like we
My
had this
God,
like what
you
you
guys
remember
went
the
that
flip
in-depth.
video camera?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
stupid like
Yes.
tiny camcorder.
Yes.
Best
So we would
marketing
make like
ever.
stop motion videos with our Bionicles of them like having wars with each other. It was fucking awesome, actually.
So with everything getting canceled, with everything in 2020, the absolute chaos, and everybody's living in a perpetual state of uncertainty, we found a perpetual state of uncertainty when it came through with furniture. Have you guys seen the latest conspiracy? What the fuck is that called?
Yeah. It's
Oh,
Wayfair.
Wayfair?
what?
Yeah, Wayfair. Yeah, I've heard
What is
about
this?
So
Okay,
apparently,
so basically
Go ahead,
on
go
their
ahead, go ahead.
website, there's like all these different furniture, pillows, whatever, that are like
Cabinets.
outrageously priced, like $13,000 for like a cabinet. And
Okay.
each of them has a name. It's like Amelia blah 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 cabinet, or like Morgan blah blah blah
Or
cabinet,
like
Morgan
duplex.
like
Yeah.
Teresa pillow, like stuff like that. And they're like super high price. So people think this is like a secret child sex trafficking website hiding in plain sight.
Yeah, because like across the U.S., all these kids are missing with those names.
Yeah,
and they're selling it for, like,
the names are lining up to missing
with
persons reports
yeah,
from
to
around
missing
America.
kids around the U.S. and they're selling it for
my
like 13 or
gosh.
14,000. So that would like make sense. Why would you buy a cabinet for 15 grand unless it was like the best cabinet ever? Which
I feel like conspiracy theories have just gotten more and more believable as we go through like the 2000s.
it's
Well, didn't
true,
they just
probably.
arrest the lady that was in the
Epstein?
running
Yeah,
hands with
Ghislaine
Epstein?
Maxwell, or however the hell you say her
Yeah,
name.
Oh, hell
yep.
yeah.
She apparently has.
And they found like her
tapes,
Reddit account and shit, and she would like argue for the age of consent law being lowered and stuff like that. Like some real sick fucks.
They've
dude.
already
she
started
had-
off like with saying that she was suicidal, and then you just got to think to yourself,
Yeah,
they're starting
or, like,
it up. They
I
already
saw
know what's
one
happening.
article, it was definitely like fake news, but I saw one that was like Ghislaine Maxwell tests positive for coronavirus.
Jesus.
Apparently
Like,
she
fuck,
has.
man.
She has tapes of like high profile politicians in this.
Yeah, she said
ring.
she's ready to name names. Let's go. When
Yeah,
is she gonna
she
commit
says she's
suicide
ready.
with 3 bullet wounds to the back of the head?
She says there's at least
Oh,
2 people
Jesus.
high up that she has info on. So I
It's-
don't know. We'll see.
We've talked about this before, and I've talked about this with like other people outside of this circle. It's just like, what the fuck is up with high level people being fucking pedophiles? Like that's
Dude,
the
I don't
number
know.
one crime. What is worse than child rape? Can you name me a crime that's worse than that?
Murder.
Yeah,
Murder, rape,
yeah.
maybe,
You mean necrophilia?
or like vice versa. I mean, yeah, just even
Yeah,
that,
that's true.
even that.
Murder, you're just ending them right there. Rape, you're like ruining them for the rest of their
Necropedophilia?
lives, man. You're like
That's
fucking
one
up
that's
them
worse.
psychologically.
Yeah,
It's
that's true. You're psychologically
bad.
fighting them. Yeah.
Yeah, you're basically dooming that child to the trauma for the rest of their lives.
Well, not just
Yeah.
people that are being raped, but like anytime you commit a crime that involves a child, whether it be kidnapping, rape, or like putting them in cults and stuff like that, anything that revolves around a child, the news media sees it as like people corrupting like these are little angels, pretty much.
Fair enough.
Even
They're
crazier.
not fucking wrong.
Yeah, even crazier. A lot of times, kids who are like raped end up growing up to be rapists and murderers and shit too,
Yeah.
because of like
Yeah.
the damage that's done to them because of that.
Probably
Childhood
true.
trauma fucks you up for the rest of your life. Like you can
Dead ass.
100% it does.
it either like turns you into a working machine that accomplishes so much, or it turns you into this resentful person that could lead
Think
into
about
a
what's
terrible
going
way.
on. You're basically losing out on your childhood in a sense. Like you're
Yeah.
not a pure innocent child anymore. You're this person that's done something that most people aren't supposed to be doing.
We're just going down a deep dark hole.
Yeah, this is really
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
sad. But fuck, man, I saw this thing that's like putting it all together. Basically, the Wayfair thing,
Yeah.
plus the quarantine, plus Trump being like so stupid about it. Apparently, this is all connected. They got us inside so that they can arrest all of these celebrities and high-level politicians and shit that are involved with this child sex trafficking. Apparently, Trump knows all of them. So he's going around and arresting them, and he's using his insanity and the quarantine and stuff as a distraction while this is happening.
Well, he knew Epstein. He partied with Epstein. So yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So apparently, according to like Trump supporters, he's actually orchestrating this whole behind the scenes thing where he's arresting all of the elites and celebrities that have been sex trafficking children. And he knows about the Wayfair thing and like all this shit.
Well, we know
Apparently,
that
he's our
Trump is
savior.
smart. Like he wouldn't be able to get to this point in his career. First of all, he's made some good decisions that have made him a lot of money, and that's not something a normal person could do. But he's also made the decisions to get him to the presidency, which, you know, you got to be somewhat smart in order to do that. So I don't think he's a babbling idiot that's up there just saying random shit. I think he does have an agenda. I don't know if it goes that deep though. Like that's like some 4D level chess type shit.
Right?
I'm
don't
also
know.
just like a
Yeah,
conspiracy
I
hater.
agree.
So
I'm a conspiracy
Yeah,
lover. I
mean,
like
yeah.
secretly want to believe every single conspiracy I see. I'm like, bro, it all makes sense.
Dude, Simpsons called
There's
coronavirus.
some that actually
conspiracy.
get you really good. Like you can watch certain
did.
conspiracy theories and you read about them and you're just sitting there and you're like, there's no way that this is not true. Like it has to be true. And then it's all up to the person. That's
There's
all
been
it is. It varies from
conspiracy-
person to person.
There's been conspiracy theories that have been proven to be true. Like, it's
And
not
so
that
many
but, like,
conspiracy theories too that like fucking we'll never know if they're true or not. Like
never.
it's
JFK.
crazy.
Who's that
Because if
fucking?
it's true or not is like locked in some confidential CIA file, just
In the
buried
library,
under
bro.
levels and levels of security clearance that
Who's
I'll
that
never even
bank
dream of
robber?
seeing in my life.
Bonnie and Clyde.
no, not that. Not that. He basically hijacked a plane and basically asked for ransom and jumped out of it.
It's not DB.
DB Cooper, that's what it was.
Bane.
We may never know what happened to DB Cooper. Like, more than likely, he fucking died jumping off of that plane. Like, it was just a
Yeah.
terrible environment to jump out of. It was foggy, it was rainy. The guy probably died inside of the forest, but they haven't been able to find his body or most of the money. They found some of the money, like, in a river downstream, but that's something I don't think that we'll be able to ever solve, because DB Cooper's
much
probably
money was
dead. It's like $200K, which is like, I think $1 million in today's
I thought he
money.
had a parachute though.
He did, but he had like a shitty parachute. The parachute was like super old, but they think that he chose that specific parachute because he was familiar with it. And that kind of led them to believe that maybe he was military because the parachute was military in nature. But
When
at
did
the
this
same
shit
time,
go down?
the 70s. So this was before tracking or anything like that. It's pretty
He
fucking
could be
wild.
alive today, maybe. He could be 80
It could
and
be
alive
somewhere.
today.
Yeah, he would have to
Think
be
about it,
fucking
there's so
old.
many. Well, think about it, like people, like things that happened back in those days, where like you read about them now and no one gets that fucking wild. Because in the 70s and 80s, you have people like Ted Bundy that are going around that are going on mass killing sprees.
Oh yeah.
Of like upwards of 20 and stuff like that. Whereas like you don't get that nowadays. You may get a gangster.
Well, what
guy that
about like
works
school
in the
shooting?
corner. Oh yeah, of course there's going to be like
Like
school
mass
shootings are meant to
murders
be
right
mass.
there. All the kills at once. It's the same thing as concentrated killings over a period of time.
Exactly. But like think about it back then and think about them now. Like the big thing that we have now is mass shootings. back then it was one man that literally went across. I'm going to use Ted Bundy as the example. One man that went across like 6 states killing random people and eluded the FBI, the CIA, like the local like states. Whereas like school shootings nowadays, it's just a bunch of kids that are fucking angry or they got bullied pretty much, and then they're just shooting up one location and then they're just committing suicide.
Yeah, I want to know like the
70s and 80s.
sociology, how it went like from one to the other. Or are there still
yeah.
like big time killing spree like
I think they
serial
just
killers that are
arrested
going around
somebody.
and we just like don't hear about it that much because people aren't that interested in that kind of shit anymore?
Exactly. Like I feel like there are giant like murderers and stuff like that. I mean, hell, it's like they still haven't caught like the Zodiac killer or like certain
That's true.
ones.
There are still serial killers.
But
I just
like
feel like
I
it's
feel
so
like
much
it's
harder to
not
get
talked
caught.
about because that height of like that time period, that's what caught people's eyes. You have like the second son of like Son of Sam and shit like that like went on like the 70s, the 80s, and like the early 90s. Like all this stuff, like back then, this is the stuff that ate people up on television. This is stuff that people tuned in to watch to make sure that they were safe. Whereas like people nowadays are more worried about their kids
I
getting
feel
shot
like
up
people
at a
still
school
love
shooting.
that shit though. People still love that
Oh
shit.
yeah, some
There was
people
the Ted
do.
Bundy documentary that came out. There's shit like Tiger
tapes.
King, like
Murder or
people
To Catch a
loved
Murder.
people love unsolved murders.
Yeah, cold case, like stuff like that.
There's a lot of interesting things. I think the first thing for me, if we're gonna talk about Ted Bundy, is like how he was so loved. Like the dude was a handsome guy who was very
so
sure of
charismatic,
himself.
could charm the
Charming.
pants off
Yep.
anybody. That's crazy.
And it was like people, even girls, were going to these courtrooms while he was doing. He was so crazy, dude. He decided to represent himself as a lawyer because he thought that he was more qualified than all of his team of lawyers because he had some expensive ass lawyers representing him because this was such a huge case.
Didn't he have a degree like from somewhere
He
too?
was going for a degree. He went to the University of Washington
He
and
decided
like
to
some
pursue
state
murdering.
school and Utah to like get a degree in law, but like he never finished. And like if you watch the Ted Bundy tapes, highly recommend it 100%
Oh,
for
yeah.
anyone in our audience that watch it. If you watch the end of the tapes, like while they show like the video of him in the courtroom, like when they finally like pronounce that he's guilty, the head or what's his name, the judge looks him in the eyes and he's like, you know what? If you weren't like so fucking crazy or anything like that, or actually a murderer, you actually did very well with being like a lawyer during this case. It's just you represented yourself. That's like being guilty 100% if you automatically do that.
He was like, I respect you so much, young man. It's such a fucking shame you turned out to be such a disgusting piece of shit. Is like
yeah,
the
he said like it's a
TLDR.
waste of intelligence, isn't what he said? It's a
Yeah.
waste of intelligence.
Yeah, he's like, you could have done great things, but you chose to go down this fucking path in life.
Exactly.
It's very interesting, and the other half of it is like, you could not get away with those murders today. You would be fucked today. Like
You would be so screwed.
people talk about how they track people off of the cell phone towers and pinging it off of that, but that in reality, that's not fucking. You can track people down within a couple of miles or so, but other than that, no. But what's on your phone, like Google pings your location like every 5 minutes. It knows where you goes. It knows your habits, and if the police get a hold of that, instantly. But back in the day, you could have gone on murder sprees and nobody could have found out if you were careful and you were effective.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Also,
Bring it back
just a serial killer story that's that insane and that like publicized doesn't come around that often, I guess, either.
That's true.
No.
Not anymore.
They were big things back in the day when Ted Bundy, again, I'll go back to the documentary. When Ted Bundy escaped from that place in Utah, they didn't know where the fuck he had went, and he just boom ends up in Florida out of nowhere. And like people were like obsessed with like watching these chases go down because they wanted there to be justice, one, but also it was a form of entertainment for them. I mean, just look at like what happened with OJ Simpson, the slow thing in the slow car chase down the interstate. That gave Ford a great sponsorship and like thing when they were trying to sell the new Ford Bronco, because that's what he drove, and they saw a spike in sales after the chase.
Everybody
Like,
wanted
legit,
OJ's
like-
car.
Like that, these are like legit facts. People see like these things as a form of entertainment.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's a little
That's definitely
fucky.
true.
I'm throwing this into the chat right now, and I'll pull it up for the audience so you guys can see that. But literally what we were just talking about, a killer was just apprehended, the Golden State Killer.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know. Details of his life emerged. Like,
Oh damn.
yeah. So let's kind of get into it. Joseph James D'Angelo shoplifted in 1979, costing him his job. So this man, let's find out how many people he killed.
He had
I think it said
recently
8.
retired after working 27 years in a supermarket distribution center. Imagine figuring
Shit.
out that you were working with a serial killer for the past 27 years.
You're just in fucking
like,
Food Lion.
This guy is your coworker. This is probably your friend. Probably someone you've been to a lot of parties and stuff with.
bro, not even that. In 1976, D'Angelo became a police officer in Auburn, California until his termination for shoplifting. This man was also a fucking cop.
Yeah, so he's got the skills.
Insane.
I see here, everybody, the audience can see this. The Bee compiled a long list of crimes associated with the Golden State Killer, or as he was previously known, the East Area Rapist, or the original Night Stalker. The majority of the rapes occurred in the years while he was a police officer, but from December 1979 to May 1986, 10 people in California were killed, and murders later tied to the East Area Rapist. So not only was he just like this murderer, but he was a murder rapist. What a fuck.
Oh yeah, most people.
I mean,
most
yeah,
people
most-
don't just. If you watch any shows, or I mean, you can't really go based off shows, but most people that commit murder, they also have there's some kind of sexual aspect to their killings, whether they want to kill the person to then have sex with them later on, or they rape somebody and then murder them afterwards. Like there's always a sexual aspect to like their murderous ways.
50 rapes, 8 murders in 3 different counties.
Yeah, I saw it was 8 murders.
D'Angelo told the officers that he had a roast in the oven, and they told him they'd take care of it. Imagine a person who like raped and murdered 50 people just turning to you like, "Hey, can you get my roast out of the oven?" Like that's all he fucking has to say.
Because they have
Why?
no like empathy or sympathy for anything.
Bro,
Like,
yeah,
they
it's
don't feel
crazy.
remorse
Can't
for
bring
what
that
they
shit.
do.
It's none of
Imagine being a psycho.
So
they're out there on the world.
apparently he was an as yet unidentified item discarded by D'Angelo that had a sample of his DNA on it. So what a fucking shot in the dark. Just like some random tissue or some shit led to his arrest.
At 72.
That is so crazy.
After he had been a cop and also a supermarket worker.
Dude, I that's
you never know, man.
and that's I got a feeling that like I want to say this is gonna be kind of a rough estimate. There are like 10% of people maybe could be like murder rapists. They just like refuse the urges.
What's that one statistic? It's like when you walk down the street, like you pass at least like 2 murderers a day.
No way.
There's like some
That
statistic.
sounds like a real
that's
sensitive
some-
guy
yeah.
stat if I've ever heard one.
Hold up.
RSGH fact check.
I'll fact check it.
Let's
I
see. Let's
will.
see what percentage of humanity is like a murder.
Well,
Probably a
like
lot.
if you think about it, we were fucking cavemen just absolutely murdering each other until society told us that that was not okay. Believe it or not, all
True.
you Joker fans, society isn't all that bad. My
There's
father.
0.003% people are murderers.
What does that equate to in like
3 in 1,000 members of the human race have actually murdered another human being, approximately.
So 3 in 1,000 people.
So I guess if you live in like New York City, you might pass a couple murders a day.
yeah.
Well, yeah, it all
Or
depends
like a
on where
big
you,
city like Baltimore or something. Like
I'm getting roasted because I don't play objective in Call of Duty right now.
Damn. All right, we gotta read some comments, or we're like never gonna get to them.
There's actually no relevant comments I saw.
What?
What are they?
Man, you made us a promise.
I know.
what are they? Are they funny?
I get some funny ones.
Nobody asked us anything.
Nobody asked us. Ask us something, please.
It's fucking sad, man.
No one likes us, my dude, my guy.
We just lost William for a second.
Ask us literally anything.
I'm
You wanna
gonna
We obviously
push
know
it.
everything.
I'm gonna push it for the next episode. I think I'm gonna say that we're gonna make a Dr. SSI episode, and
No, dude, somebody's gonna comment in the next week.
that sons of bitches. You fucking assholes.
Sons of
Yo,
bitches.
if you don't
Only-
comment, then
The only people with big dicks comment their whole life story into the comments. We wanna evaluate your life. Make sure you tell us all of the gritty details.
True. Even if you don't ask us something, even if you just comment something, we'll just analyze it.
I do have a few comments if you guys want to hold down the fort.
I
until
do want to
find it.
hear a couple of our comments. Yeah, I
I
like
do
haven't
want to hear
read
them.
any of our comments.
Yeah, hold down the fort for a second. I'll pull up a few episodes.
Right. We're holding, we're
hold down
holding
the
bro.
fort.
We're building
Um,
forts.
So, what are you guys looking forward to in the near future? Anything relevant coming up in your lives?
I'm going to the
Um,
beach this weekend, baby.
Get my
Oh,
PC and desktop. and all
Yes.
that.
Oh my God. Will finally game with us.
I will. Bought
You're
a
not like having this
SkyTech.
version with Mac.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep the MacBook Air that I'm running off of right now and have that just as a regular laptop.
That's fair.
You don't realize
Yeah.
how god awful Mac is for gaming until you got a friend with a Mac, man.
Oh yeah, it's
Dude,
horrible.
I've heard though, like in general, for like other stuff besides gaming, people really like it. Like it's way
Oh
easier
yeah,
to
for like
use.
photo editing and shit. Apparently, it's the best.
It's probably a lot easier than clicking a bunch of different things. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a
Actually,
wonderful
that's what I've
piece of
heard.
technology, but it's just not meant for gaming, which is why I'm excited for my PC.
It's more like a work computer,
Yeah.
projects
Oh,
and
yeah.
different things that you can use to make it a lot easier. My sister.
Oh yeah,
uses
have
she
it for
loves
emails and
Yeah.
like just the portableness of it. It's great to have.
Yeah,
but
my sister was
have
helping
it for
me use like
gaming.
my computer.
Never.
She has a Mac, and she was like, "This is terrible. How do you use this?" And I was like, "I don't like Mac." She's like,
Oh my God, it's
so much
such a
easier."
jump too. Yeah, I had
Yeah,
to
there's
start
so
using a
many
Mac when I started my new job, and it takes
It's
some getting
weird.
used to.
Yeah.
Just the amount of time that I couldn't grasp pressing the mouse pad with
Or
two fingers
scrolling
to
with two
right
fingers.
click.
Yeah, just like stuff like that is so.
I could not remember that for so long.
It's like the simplest thing, but it's so like weird getting used to.
So on the episode of the 2020 console war, Real Sensitive Guy Hours number 23, I've gone back. This is by Slumped. I've gone back and watched a lot of these, and I'm starting to get addicted. Not gonna lie. And if you ask me, I think Sony was going for the Wii 2.0 look because it looks exactly like a Wii. Keep up the great
Yeah.
work.
They want to bust out something unique because they saw how good the Switch did.
Oh yeah.
But they also want to stay true to their old formula to keep their old fans. So it's like,
Which is why I think that
what do
they're
you
having
do?
that physical and digital
Dude, this
console come
digital's
out.
gonna be nice.
remember those PlayStation like joystick things that were like Wii remotes and you held
Oh,
two of them in
yeah.
your hand? They had those balls on top.
I don't
What the
remember.
hell was
yeah.
that?
It was
I
like a
remember
good
it's like
version of
blatantly
Wii
trying to.
Motion
I
Plus.
got jealous of the Wii back then too.
That's true. I remember they had the PS2 had like the cameras that you could use to play like those motion games and stuff. Like I
Yeah.
remember
Oh yeah. Then Xbox did Kinect, which was like everybody thought was so insane because it didn't have any controllers at all. It just captured your movement really shittily.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
I think
VR came
it's
out and
fucking
fucked
ugly.
everybody up.
You do
The fucking
VR is so
Kinect,
nice.
man.
Isn't
VR
that
is actually cool. The
who
Kinect
owns-
was one of like the biggest disappointments of our generation, I think. Like the thing that was so hyped and totally crashed and burned.
Sony owns VR, correct?
No.
Who owns VR?
They have
VR is kind of like a
PlayStation VR?
category of things.
Oh,
Yeah, Sony doesn't own VR itself. There's like everybody's coming out with a VR now.
okay, I gotcha.
So there is PlayStation VR. But then there's also like the Oculus Rift and shit.
Gotcha. Haven't played it in a while.
VR
Um,
actually.
one game that
sucks.
you could
Brandon can
play.
attest.
What's one game that you would want to play in VR?
A prototype, bro. I've been playing
Oh, a
Prototype.
game we can play.
That game in VR would be amazing. Being like this bionic human and just like fucking running up buildings and shit.
I feel like it'd be cool to do like a throwback game,
Or like Hulk Ultimate Destruction.
or
where
like
you could be Hulk.
or like a
Or like Jack and Daxter 2?
or like a Tony Skater game, or like a Medal of Honor, just like a
They did
throwback
that. Didn't
game.
one of the skate games do that? They had like the board that you could ride, like the actual IRL
It was
plastic
for the Wii.
board you could ride. Yeah.
It was for the Wii. It was like Tony
thing was
Hawk's
a piece of
Skater
shit,
Ride
too.
or something like that.
Also rumored there's a new Tony Hawk game coming out. It's rumored.
I'm hyped for that.
Yeah, I heard that's gonna be fire.
I heard it's going to be Pro Skater 5.
I don't know what it's gonna be called, but
I
heard
need
it's
it to be
coming out.
Pro Skater 5.
What if it's called Tony Hawk Skater 5?
Or Underground
Skate 4
3.
though. Skate 4 is coming out relatively not soon at all. They just kind of
is that like a
announced it to
big
shut everybody up.
convention? What is that?
Skate 4 was essentially
It's
a
like
new
Tony
take
Hawk's competitor,
on
kind of
games.
took over.
Yeah, so like it would have a more of a view of like an underside of it, and it was they try to be more realistic rather than arcadey, because that's how Underground usually was, where it was kind of goofy. You could run up walls, you could be fun, but Skate was more realistic.
And they still had it where you could like get off your board and actually walk around, which was really cool in Underground that you couldn't do in Pro Skater.
Gotcha.
So this isn't a comment on the podcast, but this is a comment on a video that I did, basically shaming boomers who were pissed off about the whole wearing a mask thing. So basically, my stance was, you're a fucking idiot if you don't wear a mask in public, that sort of thing. And so this is from Anthony Jones. He says, "Listen, dude, 2 months ago, both Fauci and the Surgeon General said masks were ineffective and could actually cause people problems. Am I right? Now they're trying to tell us exactly the opposite. Well, do you know what happens when a witness contradicts themselves in a court of law? Exactly. Their testimony is disregarded because they have just impeached themselves and are no longer credible witnesses. So you want to take away my freedom based on the testimony of patently discredited witnesses? Lol. Nope, you are the selfish, raving lunatic man."
After he just raved. And also found the boomer.
Found the boomer.
First off, his YouTube name is his actual name, which you already know because he doesn't have an actual username that he's a boomer. Anthony Jones, like, come on. Come on, man.
Very basic.
You're
very
50.
basic name.
You're 50.
Oh my god.
At least.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah.
We know.
Like, it's not a freedom thing, man. It's a disease thing.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel
it's
like people
not-
don't.
People don't get that because they're like, I have rights. This is the United States of America. I'm like, yeah, but like, you want to be safe. Do you want to get sick? Do you want to get the virus? No, you don't want that. Then take precautions. Don't be dumb.
Yeah, just look out
What
for your
people don't
fellow
realize
man.
is that rights aren't actually rights. They're responsibilities that are held over the public's eye.
You don't walk around without pants on because nobody wants to see your boomer balls hanging and you know it. So why don't you just wear a
Exactly.
mask so no one gets your fucking germs?
That's what I don't understand. It's like it's such the tiniest inconvenience, and people always freak out about like this.
That's why I love watching That's why I love watching like Karen videos, like ladies or people like just getting fucking belligerent over like the tiniest little inconvenience.
Right. Wearing a mask does suck. It's fucking sucks. But like, so does sitting on a plastic school chair instead of a couch. You put up with it because you have to.
Exactly.
Yeah, while like if you're sitting there and you're like uncomfortable because this plastic chair sucks, but like you just kind of deal with it. You fucking go on with your life. These people are like 60 years old and they're fucking complaining about the tiniest thing. And that point earlier about the clothing thing, it's like, well, if you're so concerned about your freedoms because of a piece of cloth is over you, then don't just fucking wear pants. Let your dick and balls hang out like the natural life that you are.
See what happens.
Yeah, dumb cunts. Honestly, it's a little ridiculous. I kind of have a topic. I guess, believe it or not, a lot of the episodes don't have that many comments. So we'll just move on. Yeah, so I'll make sure that happens next time around. However, schools are starting back up come the fall, according to the president.
Yeah, except not.
Apparently, like a lot of schools are doing like you can opt out of in person or do it online,
Or they can have the hybrid courses, which are going to be
half in
I
class,
know.
half online.
I was over
Yeah.
at the campus yesterday. They've got signs up all over the place that are like, make sure you wear your face covering if you're on campus at all.
Yeah,
They've got
even throughout the
signs
town.
all over the place by the
You
sidewalk.
see what they've already done, right? They postponed the football season.
Rams helping Rams.
They
That's what
postponed the
it says
football
on the
season
side.
already.
Rams helping
I
Rams.
fucking hate that shit. Send us a picture of you wearing your mask, and I'm just like, no.
How about no?
Yeah, maybe in another dimension.
Anyway, but like, I was thinking more of like regular school, like middle and high schools apparently are starting up.
Well, like,
Horrible idea.
I think like what they're doing, because I've heard this from people, is that I feel like middle school and stuff, they're getting like parents, like what parents think at least. Obviously, they might not care what they think or do, but like at least getting their feedback on what they think should be like done, just to like have an idea of like just have like another avenue to go about it. But I don't know what they're gonna
majority
do.
vote's gonna kill my kid. That's all.
Like if you're gonna try to limit classrooms, you need more classrooms and more teachers. So I don't know what they're gonna do.
I don't like the idea that teachers are fucking nurses. Teachers have to put themselves in harm's way and put their family in harm's way just because people are like.
Well, I also heard this thing too. This is gonna sound kind of fucked, but like a lot of teachers are older and they're tenured, like, you know, they've been there for a long time, so like if they come back, it could have a really bad, like it could be really bad on their health and stuff, you know what I mean? They could get it.
Fuck their lives, dude.
Exactly. There's no reason to bring people into a situation where they can catch the virus when there's no need, when it can literally be done a different way. It can all be done online. Very easy nowadays.
Well, it's also because of the school boards. The school boards are trying to make money somehow.
Yeah, it's
and they
business.
think that
And parents are like, I want these kids out of my house. I can't stand them all day, every day. Like, you don't fucking love your kids. It's not our fault.
Exactly.
People are like, yeah, you know, we'll just throw them in there and then 0.2% of kids will die. And it's like, is that a price you're willing to pay
Just
for
build the
normalcy?
next generation. Just fuck it.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know. I mean, but like think about it. Like they can't keep postponing like every semester or because them kids are gonna be so far behind. They're not gonna be progressing. They're gonna be regressing.
Online, man. I mean,
Yeah, but
realistically,
like think about it. If you're like
do?
if you're a teacher who's 75 years old and you still teach, or let's say you're 60 and you still teach, you're like, I've never used technology before, then you're gonna be like lost.
They get fucking fired. Like it's the 21st century. I feel like that is like
you're
savage.
dictatorship about this, huh?
But if you don't have the
I agree
qualifications
with
for the
Brandyn
job,
completely. Yeah. Your job requirements sometimes change. You can't keep up, you're out. Like,
Sure, you gotta adapt.
they don't got time to teach you about the internet when most people already know about it and they can just grab someone else.
I think I'm just tired of people saying that life is not worth normalcy. Like, fuck everybody else. It's like the tragedy of the commons. I'm just going to keep using resources and not. If somebody else can handle the problem later,
Good luck, everybody else. Where is that from? I mean,
Family Guy.
Yeah,
It's that
yeah.
Asian lady. She's like, "Oh, I turn now. I go merge now. Good luck, everybody else."
Yeah.
He just swerves into online, like oncoming traffic.
It's okay. He quoted it. It's
Yes,
not our
he's
original
your
word.
quote.
Yeah.
Joke quote. I don't think
As
it's
soon
ever
as
been
Brandyn,
confused.
said that, I was like, I have to say this.
People are like that though. It's like fucking good luck everybody else. Like they fucking just come out. People like get it, test positive for it. They're like, oh, it's no big deal. I don't feel that bad. Just go out.
They're asymptomatic, maybe, but
Literally,
they still
there are
carry it.
people that dumb that they do that, and there are a lot. It's a lot of people. It wouldn't be spreading like this if that wasn't the
You
case.
see what California's doing? They're re-shutting down.
Good. We should
Yeah.
all like just stay in your house for
That's what
3
everyone
more
thinks
weeks,
gonna-
and we'll be Gucci if
That's
everyone.
what everyone
actually
thinks is going
does
to
it.
happen. They
Follow
think
the fucking guidelines.
yeah, they think a lot of
Literally.
places are going
That's
to
Jim
start
Justice
to
would
re-shut
say.
down.
Yep. I really think that would be the smartest move, but there's a balance to this thing, and we definitely can't just reopen everything right away because then
Yeah,
you know,
we can't
we're
enrage the
fucked,
idiots.
but-
There's too many of them now.
but also that like we got to stop this thing. How are we going to do that? And how are we going to do that without making our society collapse?
Well,
It's just, at this point, I'm like, it's just gonna have to run its course.
I also
Like we're so fucked at this point.
No, you're good. I also saw that like they just like got like some results from like their first human trials of like for like vaccines, but like obviously they don't know like a whole lot about it yet, like if it worked, if it hasn't, because like if someone gets coronavirus and they get it really bad but then they beat it, they could have like major like organ failure later in life. Like that's happened to some people.
Yeah,
like,
we don't
even
know
if
the
they don't
implications
have
of
it.
getting this, and
Exactly.
more
Yeah.
like
Vaccine, man. That's
afterwards.
Bill Gates' vaccine, and he owns part of a lab in China. He's trying to put a tracking device into all
Not
of
going to
us.
be the first one to get it. I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait like a couple of months, see what happens. I'll be in my house, and if people start dying, I'll be like, "Yeah, I told you so." And then if people don't die, I'll look dumb, but at least I
Are
like.
we anti-vax now?
Yeah, right.
Well, I
People
feel
are going anti-vax.
I also thought like if you get it and then you get rid of it, like if you get it and then you don't get it and then you can't get it again if you built up antibodies, right? Or is that not totally accurate?
We don't know.
I've heard of
Yeah.
people getting it twice, but maybe that was just
Yeah,
fake news too.
same.
I literally don't know shit.
Yeah, that's because like I know like my sister's a nurse and she's getting tested before we go to the beach because she's a nurse, obviously. She's been around people that have had it and she hasn't gotten it yet. So she's trying to see if she's got the antibodies for it.
Apparently, the antibody test isn't even that reliable either, though. Like, this is
It's probably not.
I
don't know how
it's
reliable
all
the
the
real
fucking
test
guidelines.
is.
you know, once you go through a transformation in your life, you kind of have to watch fucking YouTube videos about how to live your life, and that's what I've been doing lately. And Jordan Peterson says this every
How to
single
live
time. He's like, life is fucking chaos, and I feel like that's truer now than ever. Everybody doesn't know what's happening
2020 has been
tomorrow.
a storm of a year, man.
And it definitely sounds cliche to say this, like, oh, I fucking hate this year. Like, we should start the next one. Everybody's on Twitter is saying it, but can we just like, fast forward a little bit, like click?
Yeah, I feel like there was so much anticipation for this year. Everybody like had so many good jokes, like, oh, don't ask me what's gonna happen next year. I don't have 2020 vision. Oh,
The
and it
memes
was
were
just
there.
like shaping up to be such a good year, and then everything just fucked us in the ass.
I mean, like, there's bound to be a year that doesn't go as planned or a bad year. This has been probably a super bad year.
This has been like the worst year. Like, I'm not the worst year of my life. Like, I'm not like super sad right now or anything. But like, it's been since I've been born. This is like the worst year for humanity. I feel like.
We talked
yeah,
to
this is definitely one that's going to go down in the history books, 100%.
Yeah.
we went to a pretty empty bar. Everybody was social distancing and all of that fun stuff. So Oliver and I were like, we're gonna get a few drinks for Oliver's birthday. And we talked to this like old guy, probably like 60 or 70, like super long Gandalf looking motherfucker.
Nice.
It
And
was cool as fuck.
we were just talking about just like history and things like that because I tend to do that. And Oliver was also fucking plastered, so he's down with anything. And I asked him, I was like, when's the weirdest time for you, that you have ever seen in your life? And he was like, right now. This is the weirdest time I've ever
How do you
experienced
not
ever.
answer right now?
Even like
it's
living
true.
60, 70 years, man. Like it's fucking crazy. Just
I
everything.
think like shit in general is like, despite like forget the virus, forget blah blah blah. I think shit's just been getting weirder as time goes on, man. Shit is just getting insane. Stuff that we've only saw in science fiction movies like 40 years ago is now like a reality or close to becoming it.
Yep, execution's
It's just gonna
differently,
keep
but it's the
getting
same
crazier.
concept. You know what's really been really weird for me? Growing up and having the things that I was super nerdy about become popular. You know?
Right? Oh my god, it's such a phenomenon. Since like the first Avengers movie came out, probably is when the biggest spike started. Now everybody loves Marvel and Star Wars and fucking all the shit that I love.
Ben
I've always
10,
loved.
fucking Ed and Eddie was like, that shit's a
Bionicle.
classic. Yeah, Bionicles.
I want to make another stop motion Bionicle video now, man.
I think you should start a YouTube channel. They've been on the show.
I should do like Chronicles, like a fucking whole storyline. Like
Yeah,
you
you
know,
know, you know,
the rich
Travis
Bionicle and his wife Bionicle in a wheelchair.
Travis is so interested in superhero stuff. He made a whole comic series about
Oh
it.
yeah. I have
Can
an
you
entire universe based on all of our friends from like my freshman year of high school to now. I've included like almost everyone that's been huge in my life as a character. And like I'm like the Superman of the universe. And then I have my whole like Justice League of all my friends. And then like ex-girlfriends and people I've hated in the past all became villains in this universe. So I have like probably at this point with what's in my brain plus what I've drawn, like at least a DC sized universe on my hands now.
Is it
Yeah.
possible for you to retrieve some of this content and read it on air?
I think so.
Oh
Ooh.
shit! We'll hold down the fort
shit.
for you.
Put him on the spot.
It's actually super interesting.
It's actually it's pretty interesting to see, like, because like it's not powers that like you think of that like are already established by like Marvel or DC. It's like some weird shit, but it like works.
It's low key a blatant ripoff of like every superhero movie and show. But like it's so fucking cool to like have the world around us actualized in his perception of superheroes. I fucking love it. It's hilarious.
This is what holds my future movie series that I'm going to get famous off of.
Let's go.
All right, so I'll read a couple. I wrote some character bios too for a lot of the early heroes that I created, heroes and villains that I created. So we've got me, Travis Stocksdale, aka Energy. A strange test done by a so-called government agent who is actually from a secret organization working against the government has given him the power to absorb energy from electrical objects and the sun and project them into blasts from his hands. Also, a thin, invisible energy field radiates from his body, making it virtually impenetrable. However, when he continuously expels energy from his hands for an extended amount of time, the energy field around his body weakens. After obtaining these powers, he works with his friend Darius Fry, parentheses, Lieutenant Laser, to find out more about his newly acquired powers and eventually deduces that the organization is evil and works to destroy it. Then we have Darius, aka Lieutenant Laser. As weapons developers for the government, Professor Darius Fry and his assistant junior Professor Alyssa have invented many revolutionary super weapons. Professor Fry's two greatest inventions are the laser glove, which gives the wearer the power to shoot extremely high-powered laser beams from each of their fingertips, and a jetpack that is so thin it can fit under your clothes, and with it you can fly at speeds up to 200 miles per hour. Junior Professor Alyssa assisted in small ways with these inventions, mostly by gathering supplies for Professor Fry. When Travis Stocksdale comes seeking help to track down government imposters, he dons his two greatest inventions, adopts the persona Lieutenant Laser, and sets off with Travis to solve the mystery of how he got his energy powers.
So I don't want to like poke a hole in your plot, but like I just see it. Lieutenant Laser just flying down inside of the city and then just automatic just splats into a fucking building, just gone, just mush.
Can't slow down.
Slow down.
Yeah.
Grab the wall.
No, so like that was good though. I like it. Like you've
have, like,
done this since high school, right?
8 movies, all up here.
So many characters.
You know, one of these days, you should definitely just make a second YouTube channel, you know, just narrate.
I'm going to save up like my entire life and just make this into a movie series. Like it can't be anything else. It can't be a comic book. It can't be a novel. It has to be a movie series because it's going to have the most like bawling soundtrack on every movie.
You know what it needs, honestly? Take like the original Transformers soundtrack and just put it in it, honestly. So
I just see like the main heroes all walking in a line like, oh, you gotta keep it strong. Move along, move along.
That'd be so funny.
I kind of want to be a Bionicle now, you know?
It'd be such an easy life.
Dude,
Just go for it all the time. And if you break, you just put yourself back together.
or have someone else do it.
Exactly.
You should be
It's like,
whatever.
hey, my arm fell off. You mind handing me it?
You should be
The
whatever.
hardest part was combining them and making like these fucking Bionicle monstrosities.
You should be whatever Piccolo is, so that way, like when your arm gets cut off, you can just grow it back.
Namekian, just
Yeah,
regenerate it.
Yep.
Lizard regeneration powers.
I've been watching a lot of those fucking clips. I go through cycles in my life where I just like go get interested in different things. I'm back in the Dragon Ball Z phase.
Oh yeah.
It never gets old, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, old school anime is just awesome.
It's
All the old
different
schools.
than what it is now. It's so different.
Oh yeah. I love watching like the old Dragon Ball Z game ones like what was it? Cowboy Bebop, Yu Yu Hakusho, Hunter x Hunter.
We're getting
All
some
those
weeb
fun
shit
ones.
right now, dude.
Now that I've seen it
Bro,
all,
like they're
I
just
watch,
good
like,
chill shows.
which
Highly
which
suggest.
villain did Goku have the biggest power gap between and still win, or something like that.
Or
Now-
watching like just Cowboy Bebop because it just has like the chillest fucking soundtrack. And
And
it's
it
literally an
makes you
anime
listen.
version of Han Solo.
I watched today the transformation of Teen Gohan from Super Saiyan 1 to Super Saiyan 2, and I teared up a little bit. You know, you have Android 16, this robot that looks very much like a human with a red head mohawk, and he looks up and he looks at Gohan and he's like, I love the animals. I love the earth. I love people and the dynamics of these people. I want you to defend it. Let all of your anger go. And then Cell just fucking stomps that head. It explodes, and just something clicks in Gohan's head, and he explodes.
Saddest fucking death in the entire series, man. Android 16
Oh yeah,
was great.
so great. But like
He became like such a loving. He never wanted to be a bad guy.
Yeah.
He just liked
No,
the
of course
birds.
not.
he just like the birds.
He did. He loved the birds.
I will forever hate that character. By the way, you played him in Raging Blast.
It's over. Just tuck my hands under my arm.
Shoot fucking blasts out of your arms. But it was so stupid because you couldn't avoid the attack.
Who invented that? Let's put an unblockable attack in the video game.
Yeah, that's
fair.
nutty.
Fuck.
Great games, great fucking series like WWE.
Somebody just looked at their audio and was like, did the podcast just pause?
Yeah, we paused for like 2 seconds.
I didn't
I was
ask.
gonna see how long it was gonna go.
Dude, you could have taken in. I don't know. in that
We need
amount
like
of
a "We'll
time.
be right back" screen.
Yeah, we'll be right back. Like take commercials and ads.
What's that?
You get
They
my
pay us for that.
Technology right now.
We'll be back. What
to the chopper.
is your guys' worst pain you've ever experienced?
What do you mean,
Emotionally or
like physical pain or emotional?
Whatever pain means to you, brother.
I probably when I broke my clavicle.
Yeah,
Broke
mine's
your
got
fucking clavicle?
Yeah,
What the
I thought
fuck?
I thought I dislocated my shoulder, but I broke my clavicle when I was younger. Well, I didn't break it, but it broke.
What? You're leaving me on the edge of my
You want
seat
the
right now.
story? So I when I was younger, my siblings and I, we all used to play soccer, like against each other. It was like a family soccer game. So I ended up stealing the ball from one of my brothers, and I was running, obviously, right? So he shoved me, and my momentum carried me into a tree. So I smacked the side of the tree and dislocated and broke my
Dude.
clavicle.
Onto the turnbuckle, dude. Fuck.
Yeah, and I didn't have to have surgery or anything. They gave me a harness to like move it back in place. But dude, that hurt so bad. I was
My
like crying
God.
for like 2 hours afterwards. My
The
parents were like, "You're
clavicle
fine."
is this bone right here.
Yeah, my parents were like, "Oh, you're fine. It doesn't hurt." I was like, "No, it hurts. I've been crying for 2 hours since it happened." Like, oh god, it was terrible. I remember like after I got my harness off and trying to like move my shoulder, I was like, "Oh my god, it's so stiff."
I don't think I have like a really bad pain moment. Like I've
think
broken an
mine was-
arm, but like there's been times where I've been super uncomfortable. Like I think when I had my stomach issue and I was sitting there in the emergency room and everything started to get really hot and I felt queasy, things started to spin, and it was like
Oh yeah, it was
I was
bad.
like, I need to go to the bathroom so I can get whatever evil that is in me right now out, and then just
Yeah.
putting my face against the bathroom floor for some form of relief. That's
Yeah.
probably one of the
please.
worst moments.
I think mine would probably have to be like when I had the catheter. Like I had to have a catheter
fuck.
taken out.
Oh, that sounds
Yeah,
bad.
yeah. You win.
I had so I'd broken my femur because I was ATVing one day and I started like daydreaming. So
Oh,
I
no.
freaking rode off on the ATV, and he was either go like head first into a tree with a helmet on
And die.
or just jump off and just see what happens. So I wake up like 4 hours later and my leg's broken. I climb myself back onto the ATV, drive home, pull up to the driveway. My mom's like standing outside. And she's like, well, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, my leg's broken. I can't really do anything. And she's like, well, what do you mean? It's not broken. So I stood up and my leg just goes sideways. She's like, come on, we're going to go like down. We're going to get to the hospital. I'm like, okay. So they get me to the hospital. They cut off like all the clothes. They go into surgery. And like they had to numb from my waist and from like my genitalia over to the one leg. So that way they could perform surgery. So they had to put a catheter in me because my body is numb. I can't go to the bathroom on my own. And they did that while I was under. But when like a week later, when I'm able to leave, they're like, all right, we're going to take your catheter out. I'm like, all right, hit me with that gas so that way I don't feel this pain. Nope. Chick just like straight grabbed it and yanked. And I'm like, and then she was like, give it about like 2 minutes and you're going to feel like you have to go to the bathroom, and go to the bathroom. And sure enough, like I'm in the bathroom. It feels like I am pissing acid and like metal chunks. Like it feels like it is burning
like a
the
kidney
inside
stone.
of my shit. Oh, I fucking hated it.
I already knew the person with something dick related was gonna win this. Mine's probably breaking my 3 fingers. I think I told the story before where I flipped over my bike handlebars. And they just went straight back to my fucking back of my hand. And then there was the fact that my parents didn't think it was broken, so I didn't go to the hospital for 3 days after that. So I sat around for 3 days with my fingers. I had to stick them in like a bucket of ice for most of the day, every day, and while I was sleeping, because I literally couldn't sleep or like function at all with how much pain they were in.
Oh my goodness, that is nuts. Dude, parents are always like, you're fine.
Yeah,
you're good.
I'm never going to be like that with my kid. If they say I think it's broken, I'm going to at least take them to check.
Well, dude, like in my family, like my mom was a nurse. She's like, oh, you're good. Like, you're fine. Like, no, it hurts. Like a lot of parents are like that, though. They're just like, "Oh, you're good. You'll be over. Just walk it off,
bro." It's just like brush it off, you know.
Yeah, walk it off.
Stop crying. Suck it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mom beats me, so.
Your mom doesn't live anywhere near you. Calm down. I beat you.
For her.
I want you to beat me more.
Yes, Daddy.
Alrighty. This is you guys can get a room off camera somewhere.
If we just got to profess our love to each other publicly, you know, we've been flexing about let's find Will love and.
Yeah, Oliver, I want you to fuck me.
I want you to fuck me, Jerry.
I'm gonna
fuck
say,
me.
How about catch me outside? How about that?
Does it look like my dick is cummed?
Cummed yet?
So I guess we have to start a new, as many of the viewers know, I am a happily taken man, so date Will is out of the question, but
no.
We
no, dude. Fuck.
need to get a new game going. Date the host, date Brandon here.
He does need his time to heal.
He does need time to heal, but that doesn't mean he can't find time to hang out or go for a walk.
So game number 1 is fuck Brandon.
Right now, like if you know the situation, read between the lines.
Shut the fuck up.
So who should tell the story? Should it be me or should it be Travis?
We're not telling this story.
No story is going to be.
We're not airing dirty laundry.
Yeah. I'm down to air dirty laundry that's in the past.
Other people.
Yeah. Fuck everybody else.
Yeah, we can put that in our back pocket for now. All right.
This will be a story for the future, just not right now.
With you on your way out.
Oh my God, I misremember that meme now.
Yeah.
SpongeBob one.
It's gonna be like one of those days we're gonna look back and be like, on the day we can look back at this and laugh, we'll tell the story.
Good call.
So like in a week, got it.
All of us.
Yeah,
so in a week,
not just.
I don't want to end the show while I'm taking out the trash and be like, "Fuck, man, fuck."
What do they say the healing time is? It's like what is it, like 3 months for every year or something like that, or a month for every year? Maybe.
Fuck! Don't even tell me that. That's like if it's 3 months for every year, I am in a hard time for the next 2020.
Yeah, you got 9 months.
And a little bit into 2021.
What's the longest guys have lasted or took time
30
to heal
seconds.
after relationship?
2 months.
Yeah. I don't know. I bounce back fast, man. Probably like 2 months as well.
No, it was so funny. One time, Travis got broken up with, and it was kind of like an inconvenient moment because we were gonna go and like hang out down at the river, and then he got broken up with. We're like, oh fuck, so let's all go back.
I remember the story.
The next day,
The thing is, though, I was about to break up with her. We were going to see each other the next day, but she showed up randomly while we were at the river and did it.
oh
And
shit!
broke up with me. And I'm like, oh my God, I was about to break up with her. This is like gas money.
But the funniest thing was seeing Travis the next day. He's like, I'm gonna go take a shower. Like he's all upset. Like you would tell like somebody just fucking shot his dog or something like that. He's like, I'm gonna go take a shower. And he goes, and then I walk into the bathroom because it was kind of like shower, main area, and then toilet room. And he gets out of
There's
the
a
toilet
door,
room.
Yeah.
And I just see him shaving. And he's still sad. And he comes out of it. He's like, all right, guys, I'm ready to go. Let's get it.
Oh
That's my old self.
Yeah.
I also had my rabbit. I was like, she wanted me to grow a beard. So I had this like rabid like stubble going on. Because for some reason, my stubble, before it becomes a full beard, like irritates the shit out of my skin.
That's
And
everybody.
I get this like horrible red bumps all over like this part of my face. So that was definitely, downer on top of the breakup.
I think
Yeah,
for my
Debbie
last Breaking Up Sucks Part 2, I think it was whenever my ex-girlfriend erased the mirror, and then Travis and Oliver just hated the fuck out of her, and I was like, well, I can't be with a girl that is hated.
Dude, she was. Oh God, it was too many. I'm not gonna go there.
I was like putting up with her, even though she was like bitchy to you the entire time. I was still gonna give her a chance till I woke up and saw that empty mirror, man.
Oh my God,
She was still there.
Yo, doesn't somebody have a picture of it somehow? Like we put like a spotlight behind it or something, so you could like get the reflection.
Oh yeah, because we ended up reviving it. We ended up getting like a shit ton more signatures on it, but like that original one will never be there again.
True.
Yeah, fuck
That
it.
is very true.
True. We got a table with signatures now.
Yeah.
Tape top. So we're about at that time, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
we started early.
Boys,
Good job.
Yeah, we did.
we did really good. You know, I'm proud of us. Ladies and gentlemen,
kept
boys
it
and
going.
girls, thank you so much for. Holy fuck! Hold on, before we end this, that was the quickest show I felt like ever. Does anybody else feel that?
It
Seriously,
felt like it dragged
starting
on
early,
for like
though.
the first like few minutes, and then it just like kicked into high gear.
Started
Oh my
literally 7
God.
minutes early, and it like changed the game.
What the
That's what
fuck?
happens when we go from automatic to manual. We just put it in the clutch.
Put it in gear, baby. That's the metal.
All right, boyos and girls, you guys leave a like. If not, you have a small PP, and if you're a
Some
girl,
fucking comments about anything.
talk about your
Yeah.
day.
Say you liked one of
Love
our
you.
topics, or you liked
Yeah.
one of us, or you're
Here,
like, hey,
I actually
you're
don't
like-
care if it's another boomer comment.
or you were like, hey, Will's glasses make him look like Ozzy Osbourne. Like
Anthony Jones, fuck you.
Oh,
Hit that subscribe button if you really enjoy this. There's a playlist inside of my playlists of every single episode. Be sure to watch all those if you've got the time. There's like 27 hours of content
or
there.
more.
That's a full day.
There's a
100
2-hour
more,
episode
you can
in-
saw your
there's a
arm off while
2-hour
you-
episode in there somewhere.
Yeah, I've got a micro penis. My name's Brandon.
I'm Oliver.
huge cock. And your Will?
And I'm Will. I didn't know that you. I just heard huge cock. I was waiting for Travis.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
Will.
Dave.
I
People in
guess.
their car just adjusted their stereos again. They're like, what the fuck is
have a-
going on?
Yeah.
medium PP.
Medium PP, about average size. You guys just listen
Average
to
PP.
the Real Sensitive Guy Hours episode
PP poo poo.
27. You guys have a great rest of your night.
Mm.